Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Sorry, there was some technical glitch from my end, so I was not able to get that thing right. So we'll just start. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakhaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Tarine. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So dear devotees, welcome for the class. So last time we had completed till shloka number 31 and today we have shloka number 32. So I'll just share the screen with you all quickly. यत्रिच्छया चोपन्न स्वर्गद्वारम् अपावृतं सुखीन क्षत्रिय पार्थ लभन्ते युद्धम ईदृशम्. So Krishna says that, O Parth, happy are the Kshatriyas to whom such fighting opportunities come unsought, opening for them the doors to the heavenly planets. And Prabhupada says that Krishna is the supreme teacher of the world. Krishna condemns the attitude of Arjuna that who said that I do not find any good in this fighting, and it will cause perpetual habitation in hell. Such statement by Arjuna were due to ignorance only. So Krishna is going to dissipate his ignorance. He wanted to become non-violent in the discharge of his specific duty. For a Kshatriya to be on the battlefield and not become violent is the philosophy of the fools. So, in Parashar Muni Smriti, or religious codes made by Parashar Muni, the great sage, and he is the father of Vyasdev. Kshatriya praja rakshan, that means the duty of the Kshatriya is to, rakshan means to protect. Protect who? The praja. Praja means their kingsmen or the people in his kingdom. Shastra pane pradhan dayan nritija parasayadi shitim dharmena palayeta. The Kshatriya's duty is to protect the citizens from all kinds of duties. For that reason, he has to apply violence in suitable cases of law and order. Therefore, he has to conquer the soldiers of inimical kings, and thus, with religious principles, he should rule over the world. Shitim dharma palayat. Considering all aspects, Arjuna has no reason to refrain from fighting. If he could conquer his enemies, he would enjoy the kingdom, and if he should die in the battlefield, he would be elevated to the heavenly planets, whose doors are wide open to him. Fighting would be for his benefit in either case. So see, even if he dies, he will get, the heavenly planet. And if he wins, then he is going to enjoy the kingdom that he is enjoyed. So over here, if you see the last time that we discussed, because this whole section from 31st shloka, there is a Karma Kanda section starting, where Krishna is telling Arjuna that you fight because by performing your prescribed duty, you will gain material enjoyment. So, this whole section is refuting Arjuna's argument that I don't want to fight, I'm not going to get any enjoyment, it is better that I, become non-violent. So material happiness will come only when a particular person executes his own dharma. And if he neglects the dharma, means there is a material downfall. So, for example, the dharma, like in many other places also, Srila Prabhupada always gives this analogy that the dharma of sugar is to give sweet, that is sweetness, or the dharma of water is to float, dharma of fire is heat and light. So if a particular person is executing his dharma, then he will become happy, or else then will be a downfall. So if you see, there is a link between both the sections that have been discussed right now. So in the previous section, Krishna used the arguments based on Gyan. He said that you fight Arjuna. But now Krishna will use a very less elevated principle, which will promise material reward. And right, and actually this Karma Kanda section also that we'll be discussing, it is elaborating even the second shloka of this whole chapter, where in which Krishna says that if you're going to avoid your duty, then it will not lead to your higher planets, but it will lead you to infamy. So now, Krishna is going to say that happiness will come only by performing the prescribed duties. So, of course, Krishna is going to list the benefits of fighting, that, okay, if you will fight, if you win, then you'll get the kingdom. If you lose, then you'll go to the heavenly planets. Still, there is no loss for you. And even he's going to say that what losses, see, like, Krishna is a very perfect businessman. Okay, so he's going to tell, okay, what is your profit? What is your loss? So he's saying, see, this will be your profit and this will be your loss. So what will be the loss? That if you do not, do your duty, or if you avoid doing your prescribed duty of fighting, then what will happen? You will incur sin, you will incur infamy, you will incur dishonor, and you'll be ridiculed by your enemies. Your enemies will laugh at you and saying that, oh, he's a coward, he ran away. So Krishna is going to deal very perfectly with Arjuna. Now over here, Arjuna is none other than we, the living entities. So instead of Arjuna, I should place myself in that place where Krishna is actually guiding me. That, see, you do your duty. Sometimes we become lazy to perform our duty, or our prescribed duty, or even the vows that we have taken in Krishna consciousness, right? So sometimes we don't want to chant, we don't want to actually attend some morning program. So then Krishna is saying that, see, if you will chant, or if you're going to do your prescribed duty, then you're going to have you'll be having happiness, and you will win. You will win over the cycle of birth and death. So this is actually, I'm just quoting indirectly, like, for example, a devotee's prescribed duty is that he has to chant, he has to serve the Lord, he has to read the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. These are his prescribed duties in terms of being a devotee. But for example, we have 4 varnas and 4 ashramas also, right? So what are the duties of 4 varnas and 4 ashramas? That also we need to see, right? Urgent call. So he is speaking in terms of varna and ashrama. So every varna has certain duties, prescribed duties. Every ashram also has certain duties. So when we talk about varnas, we talk about brahmanas, kshatriyas, vaishyas and shudras. And we talk about ashram, then you see the brahmachari ashram, the grihastha, the sannyas, and the vanaprastha ashram. So now both these, categories, varna and ashram, they have their prescribed duties. And if anybody is not performing their duty, then what will happen is that will give him a downfall. He will not be materially also happy. Okay. So in that case, this is very. So then in this 32nd shloka, he's saying that I'm sorry, just lost. Yeah, so in this 32nd shloka, he's giving the benefits of fighting. That whether you win or whether you lose is actually the main theme, that you will still be profited. And then in the next shloka, he's going to speak about the specific spiritual duties. Let's see that. Yeah. अथ चेत्त्वम् इमं धर्म्यं संग्रामं न करिष्यसि ततः स्वधर्मं कीर्तितं च हित्वा पापम् अवाप्यसि. He says that if, however, you do not perform your religious duty of fighting, then you certainly incur sins for neglecting your duties and thus lose your reputation as a fighter. So, because Arjuna was famous as a fighter, he attained fame by fighting many great demigods, including Lord Shiva. In fact, when he fought with Lord Shiva was so very much pleased with him that Lord Shiva rewarded him an astra called Pashupat Astra. And everyone knew that he was a great warrior. Even Dronacharya had given him many benedictions and special weapons with he could kill his own teacher. Imagine like how much impressed a student, the teacher is with the student, that the teacher has leaked or revealed all the secrets of war and administration. And to such an extent, the teacher is pleased with Arjuna, Dronacharya is pleased with Arjuna, that he has awarded him a special weapon by which he could kill his own teacher. So he was credited with so many military certificates also from so many authorities. So many other demigods also have given him so many weapons. In fact, his own father, Indra, he has also given him, that chariot that was there, which could actually rotate in 10 directions. But, Krishna is saying if he abandoned the battle, not only would he neglect his specific duty as a Kshatriya, but he would lose all his fame and good name and thus prepare a royal road to hell. In other words, he would go to hell not by fighting, but by withdrawing from the battle. So that is why we say, that when as a Kshatriya, or as a devotee, or as a mother or as a father, if I will shirk my duties, then neither I will be happy in this life nor in the next life, and the royal road to hell will be, prepared for me. So next he says that अकीर्तिं चापि भूतानि कथयिष्यन्ति ते अव्ययं संभावितस्य चिकीर्तिर मारनाद अतिरिच्यते. So he says that people will always speak of your infamy, and for a respectful person, dishonor is worse than death. So, for example, somebody insults us, we feel so bad, We feel that, oh, kash dharti phat jati and main udhar hi chali jati before that person insulting me. So let's see what Srila Prabhupada has to say in his purport. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Both as a friend and philosopher to Arjuna, Lord Krishna now gives him the final judgment regarding Arjuna's refusal to fight. Like when two friends are discussing and a problem is being discussed, then the friend who's giving advice, भाई ये लास्ट एडवाइस है मेरा आपके लिए, इससे आगे मैं कुछ नहीं बोल सकता, भाई तुम मान ले तो. The Lord says, Arjuna, if you leave the battlefield before the battle even begins, people will call you a coward. Kayar banayenge. Kayar in Hindi you call it. And if you think that people may call you by bad names, but that you will save your life by fleeing the battlefield, flee means running away, then my advice is that you're better to die in the battlefield. So Krishna is giving his verdict that it is better that you, rather than being a coward, then you better die. So for a respectful man like you, ill fame is worse than death. So you should not flee for fear of your life. Better to die in the battlefield. That will save you from the ill fame of misusing my friendship and from losing your prestige in society. So for example, right, if he runs away, he say, oh, ये कृष्ण का दोस्त था, ये कृष्ण का फ्रेंड है, ये तो कायर निकला, right? And how can the Lord's devotee or Lord's friend be a coward? Why? Because when a particular person becomes a devotee of Krishna, or he's in Sakhya Bhav, or he's in the he's in love in friendship bhav, then there cannot be fear in that person. Why? Because of his confident relationship with Krishna, that yes, I will be protected. Like for example, if you see in Vraj, all the Gopas, they were very confident of Krishna's friendship. How? Whenever there was a danger, what used to happen? Immediately they used to call out Krishna. So they were so confident that Krishna will come and help. Like when they went into Aghasur's mouth, you remember that initially they were very scared. But then you know what they were saying? Oh, anything happens, that Krishna is there only, no? And when they went into the mouth of Aghasur, they were shouting Krishna, 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 and then Krishna comes to save them. Or even when that forest fire was, devouring them, they were calling out Krishna. So when a particular person is a devotee of Krishna, he does not need to fear at all. He needs to face the situation. And when he faces that situation, he will emerge out victorious. So what is Krishna advising over here? He's saying that you fight, you don't flee in fear. Arjuna didn't want to fight. Bole, main jungle mein jaunga. But he's telling no, it's better to die in the battlefield. So that will save you from the ill fame of misusing my friendship. So you cannot say that, okay, I am Krishna's friend and I'm a coward also. No way, So, and losing your prestige also in the society. Kya bolenge? Arjun itna bada dhanurdhan. Arjun such a great bowman, and see, he became a coward. And you know what? His prestige, it is better, that Karna is better than Arjuna. There will be comparison. Then somebody else will be better than Arjuna. So what will happen? Because see, in that time, Arjuna was the greatest archer. Nobody, if only one person could defeat Arjuna, nobody else could defeat Arjuna, and that was only Karna could defeat him. But Karna lost because of being on the wrong side. He was on the side of adharma. If he would have been on this side, I think there's a conversation also where Mother Kunti and Krishna, they go to actually Karna and they tell him that, see, you come on our side and you fight on our side because you are my putra, you are my son. And she gives many, what do you say? She gives many evidences that how you are my son. But Karna actually was bound by the friendship of Duryodhan. He gave reasons that मैंने दुर्योधन का नमक खाया है, now he is my friend, and in my most difficult times Duryodhana had helped me. In my most difficult time, my mother, who is my caretaker, not my original mother Kunti, but my caretaker, she is my mother. So however she is, whether she is poor, whether she is rich, she is my original mother. Saying that I know I am on the side of adharma. Karna very well knew. But he's saying that now I'm born with this and I'll have to die with this only. So that is why he did not agree to fight with dharma, and that is why he lost. Otherwise, historically, or if you see in terms of valor or in terms of archery, Karna could defeat even Arjuna. Karna, the training Karna had got was a very, very good training from his teacher. So that's how he could, but Karna lost, the game because of, what do you say, being on the side of Adharma. So Krishna is giving the final judgment of the Lord was for Arjuna to die in the battlefield and not withdraw. Better to die. Right. So this is the thing. So then further he says. So now if you see, at least in this particular shloka, what is actually Krishna also telling that that better to do your own duty rather than you do somebody else's duty. Better to better to actually rather than your ridicule, your enemies will laugh at you, saying that okay, you ran away from the battlefield. So let's see the next shloka, 35th shloka. भयाद्रणाद् उपारतं ममस्यान्ते त्वं महारथ येषां च त्वं बहुमतो भूत्वा यस्यासि लाघवम्. So he's saying that the great generals who have highly esteemed your name and fame will think that you have left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you insignificant. They will laugh on you. बोलेंगे ये तो कम है. So Krishna continued to give his verdict to Arjuna. Though it seemed that it is the last verdict, then they know even Dronacharya and Karna, and they will think, and the others will think that you left the battlefield out of compassion for your brothers and grandfather. They will think that you have left out of fear of your life, and thus their high esteem of your personality will go to hell. This is what he's saying. So he's continuing, giving him some nice instructions. Avachyavadamscha bahun vidishyanti tavahita nindantasva samratyam tato dukkha taram nukim. So he's saying that your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? So, unkind words. Somebody speaking kind words to you, still fine. You're happy. But unkind words, they pierce you like arrows and they'll scorn your ability. बोलते हैं कि ये तो कायर है, ये तो worst है. So that will be more painful for you. Lord Krishna was astonished in the beginning at Arjuna's uncalled for plea for compassion. And he described his compassion as befitting the non-Aryans. Now, in so many words, he has proved his statements against Arjuna's so-called compassion. Well, compassion for the right soul, for the compassion for the dress of a drowning man is no compassion at all. And now he's saying that Hato va prapsyasi swargam jitva va bhokshase mahim tasmat uttishta kaunteya yuddhaya krita nishchaya. So he's saying that, O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up with determination and fight, right? Even though there was no certainty of victory for Arjuna's side, he still had to fight. For even being killed there, he could be elevated into the heavenly planets. So he's asking that, though there is no certainty, but you still fight, right? So then he's saying that Sukha dukhe same kritva labha labho jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yujjasva nevam papa papam avapyasi. He's saying that do thou fight for the sake of fighting without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat, and by doing so, you shall never incur sin. So now, actually, over here, uh, he's saying that Lord Krishna not directly says that Arjuna should fight for the sake of fighting, because who is desiring that, whose desire it is? Krishna desires the battle. अब ये कृष्णा की इच्छा है कि अर्जुना लड़े, और इसलिए अर्जुन को लड़ना चाहिए. He should fight. There is no consideration of happiness or distress, profit or loss, victory or defeat in the activities of Krishna consciousness. If you are a devotee of Krishna, अगर आप कृष्ण के भक्त हैं, तो आप ये मत सोचो कि आपको क्या लाभ होगा, क्या नुकसान होगा, क्या आप जीतोगे, क्या आप हारोगे, क्या आपको सुख मिलेगा या दुख मिलेगा. Don't think about all that. That everything should be performed for the sake of Krishna in transcendental consciousness. तो अब अपनी इच्छा को साइड में रखो, keep your desire at the side, and you do everything for the sake of Krishna. In transcendental consciousness, divya chetana में ये करो. So there is no reaction to material activities. So this is a very powerful statement. Okay, so now when I am doing any karma, okay, so for example, I'm cooking, or I am cleaning, or I'm reading, or I'm preaching, or I'm doing book distribution, or I'm preparing garlands, or I am dressing the deities, or I am making jewelry for the deities, or I'm stitching the clothes for the deities. Okay, so these are the activities we generally do on a regular basis, you can say. Of course, we don't stitch dresses for the deities on a daily basis, but still somewhere, or jewelry, I generally make jewelries occasionally for festivals like Janmashtami, Ram Navami, and Gaur Punim and all. So whatever activity when we are doing, now we should understand that the whole aim of doing that activity is to please Krishna. By cooking, I am pleasing the senses of Krishna. By doing book distribution, I am pleasing Krishna, because it is Krishna's desire that this knowledge be given to the ignorant people who do not know about this, and this transcendental knowledge be given to them. And I should not be doing any activity with the intention that, okay, book distribution numbers, I'll be awarded, and my Guru Maharaj will be this. No, of course, we are doing it for the pleasure of our spiritual masters also. And whether we get success or we get failure, whether I distribute one book or I distribute 1,000 books or 1 lakh books also, my main aim should be that I want to please Krishna. Or whether I'm cooking 5 items for Krishna, or whether I'm cooking 50 items for Krishna. So the quantity does not matter, the quality of the service will matter in that case, right? What is your transcendental consciousness? What is your chetana while you are doing that particular activity? That will matter a lot. And that is why when you do any activity for the pleasure of the Lord, then that particular action will not be counted in karma. That action will be counted in service to the Supreme Lord. And that will not bind you also. Generally, you do any activity, it will bind you. Either it will give you pap or punya. Ya to, whether it is, whether it is a sin or whether it's a good deed, right? And you will have to suffer the reaction. If it is punya, you go to the heaven. But still, when you go to the heavenly planets and your punya ka quota is finished, like say for example, you did 35% of punya. Now you went to the heavenly planet, you enjoyed over there, 35% का आपका bank balance खत्म हो गया, recharge खत्म हो गया, where you will come down back to the earth planet, right? Or if you go to the hell also, so then over there also you have suffered for whatever you have done. Then again, where will you be sent? You will be sent back to this earth planet only. So Prabhupada further is saying that he who acts for his own sense gratification, either in goodness or passion, is subject to the reaction of good or bad. But he who has completely surrendered himself in the activities of Krishna consciousness is no longer obliged to anyone, nor is he a debtor to anyone, as one is in the ordinary course of activities. Devarishi bhutapta nidam pitranam na kinkaro nayam rinit charajan sarvatmana yah sharanam sharanyam gato mukundam pariharityakartam. So anyone who has completely surrendered unto Krishna, Mukunda, giving up all other duties, is no longer a debtor. So see, people will be, I must have had debt towards my ancestors and my, immediate parents, my sisters, my brothers, my relatives. No, I'm not obliged to anyone. Nor even to the demigods for giving me rain, giving me sun, giving me moonlight, and many other demigods are there, which are actually sustaining me in this material. Nor the sages, nor the people in general, nor any kingsmen, nor humanity, or nor any forefathers. So they say that even if I don't do Pindadan, even if I don't do Shrad, even if I don't acknowledge the demigods, there will be no loss. But if I am grateful to the demigods, if I am grateful for my forefathers, if I am grateful to the sages, then that humility and that gratitude will lead us will lead us to the right path also. And because Krishna is demanding humility, because when you have gratitude, you'll have humility also. And Krishna is demanding that humility. So automatically, when you are surrendering to Krishna and you are having gratitude for the demigods, then Krishna will naturally be very happy. That is the indirect aim given by Krishna to Arjuna in the verse, and the matter will be more explained in the following verses. So now what is he saying? Let's see. एषा ते अभिहिता सांख्ये बुद्धि योगे त्विमां शृणु बुद्धया युक्तो यया पार्थ karma bandhan prahasyasi. He says that, thus I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. Now listen as I explain it in terms of working without fruitive result. A son of Pritha, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of works. So he's saying that according to Nirukti or the Vedic dictionary, Sankhya means that which describes things in detail. And Sankhya refers to that philosophy that describes the real nature of the soul. And yoga involves controlling the senses. Arjuna's proposal not to fight was based on sense gratification. Forgetting his prime duty, he wanted to cease fighting because he thought that by not killing his relatives and kingsmen, he would be happier than by enjoying the kingdom after conquering his cousins and brothers, the sons of Dhritarashtra, in both the ways. The basic principle for sense gratification that is there. Happiness derived from conquering them and happiness derived by seeing the kingsmen alive are both on the basis of personal sense gratification, even at sacrifice of wisdom and duty. Krishna, therefore, wanted to explain to Arjuna that by killing the body of his grandfather, he would not be killing the proper soul proper. And he explained that all individual persons, including the Lord himself, are eternal individuals. They are individuals in the past and they are individuals in the present, and they will continue to remain individuals in the future, because all of us are individual souls eternally. So Krishna here is telling that that it's not like that I did not exist or you did not exist. No, we both existed in the past, we both are existing also, and we both will exist in the future also. We simply change our bodily dresses in different manners, but actually we keep our individuality even after liberation from the bondage of material dress. An analytical study of the soul and the body has been very graphically explained by the Lord. And this descriptive knowledge of the soul and the body from different angles of vision has been described here as Sankhya in the terms of Nirukti dictionary. This Sankhya has nothing to do with the Sankhya philosophy of the atheist Kapila. So there was another Kapila who was actually an atheist, and he used to propagate that the Lord does not exist, and there is no existence of the Lord, and all these things. So Sankhya philosophy that is expounded in the Srimad Bhagavatam by true Lord Kapila. So we also know that the true Lord Kapila is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord who incarnated in the house of Mother Devahuti and Kapila. And it is clearly explained by him that the Purusha or the Supreme Lord is active and that he creates by looking over the Prakriti. So in the Canto 2, we are just seeing that how this, Karan Shakti and the Kriya Shakti, just Krishna glances and the whole Prakriti gets activated. This is accepted in the Vedas and in the Gita. The description in the Vedas indicates that the Lord glanced over Prakriti or nature and impregnated it with atomic individual souls. All these individuals are working in the material world for sense gratification. And under the spell of material energy, they are thinking of being enjoyers. This mentality is dragged to the last point of liberation when the living entity wants to become one with the Lord. He wants to merge into the Brahmajyoti. This is the last snare of Maya or sense gratificatory illusion. And it is only after many, many births of such sense gratificatory activities that a great soul surrenders unto Vasudev Lord, Krishna, thereby fulfilling the search after the ultimate truth. See, everybody is searching after the ultimate truth, but they don't know. And in wrong places, they are actually searching for the ultimate truth. So when he merges into the Brahman, and then he does Sakam Karma, Nishkam Karma, and Jnana Yoga, and then he goes to the Brahma Jyoti. There also he is not satisfied. And then what happens is, then he's moving around. So he's saying that Bahunama Janmanam Ante Jnanavanma Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarveti Samatma Sudrulabh. Now such a Mahatma is very rare. And Arjuna has already accepted Krishna as a spiritual master by surrendering unto him. Shishyasteham sadimam tvam prapannam. Consequently, Krishna will now tell him about the working process in Buddhi Yoga or Karma Yoga. So from here, this section will start with, Buddhi Yoga or Karma Yoga. How to work for Krishna. Or in other words, the practice of devotional service only for the sense gratification of the Lord. This Buddhi Yoga is clearly explained in chapter 10, verse 10, as being direct communion with the Lord, who is sitting as Paramatma in everyone's heart. But such communion does not take place without devotional service. One who has therefore situated himself in devotional service or transcendental loving service to the Lord, or in other words, in Krishna conscious, attains to the stage of Buddhi Yoga, by the special grace of the Lord. So therefore the Lord says that only to those who are always engaged in devotional service of transcendental love, does he award pure knowledge of devotion. And in that way, the devotee can reach him easily in ever blissful kingdom. So Krishna actually in the Bhagavad Gita, where he's saying, in the 10th, where is this? Okay. Yeah. Where he's explaining this Buddhi Yoga, he's saying that Tesham Satata Yuktanam Bhajata Priti Purvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam Yenama Upayantite. Let me just open that shloka for you. Give me 1 minute. Quickly, I'll just open it. Very nice, this shloka is also. You just take a quick look at this shloka also. So, just as we are actually studying Bhagavatam now, even Bhagavad Gita is very relishable. On every line, you can relish Bhagavad Gita. But provided we approach the Bhagavad Gita in the mood of service. So, Tesham Satata Yuktanam, okay. He's saying that Satata Yukta, always engaged. Always engaged in what? Always engaged in my bhajan, rendering service. Bhajan means only service to the Supreme Lord. And how is he rendering service to the Supreme Lord? Preeti Purvakam, lovingly, in loving ecstasy he is. Then when he is doing this, what is Krishna rewarding him then? Dadami, I, Buddhi Yogam, I give him the real intelligence. Now, why is he giving that real intelligence? So that Yenama Upayantite, by which he can come to me. So for those who are constantly devoted to me, to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. So in this word, Buddhi Yogam is very significant. You may remember that in the 2nd chapter, the Lord instructing Arjuna that he had spoken to him of many things and he would instruct him in the way of Buddhi Yoga. Now Buddhi Yoga is explained. Buddhi Yoga itself is action in Krishna consciousness. Buddhi Yoga क्या है? Definition Buddhi Yoga का क्या है? Action in Krishna consciousness. That is the highest intelligence, right? So, I'm sorry. So, Buddhi Yoga means intelligence and yoga means mystic activities or mystic elevation. When one tries to go back home, back to Godhead and takes fully to Krishna consciousness in devotional service, his action is called Buddhi Yoga. In other words, Buddhi Yoga is the process by which one gets out of the entanglement of this material world. The ultimate goal of progress is Krishna. Ultimate goal. So see, if you see in the Bhagavad Gita, just give me 1 minute. Just give me 1. Okay. So I was explaining this line that the ultimate goal of progress is Krishna. How? So when we are studying Bhagavad Gita, when we are studying Bhagavatam, and we are studying certain shlokas also. And every shloka is divided into 3 categories almost. Sambandh, Abhidhe, and Prayojan. So Sambandh means those texts where our relationship with the Supreme Lord is established, right? So every text is divided into these 3 categories. Either it is Sambandha. Sambandha means what is that particular shloka which is establishing my relationship with Krishna? And then what is that path Krishna is giving me in the Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, via which when I follow this particular path, the Abhideya is endeavor. When I'm endeavoring on this particular path, then I reach my ultimate goal, that is Prayojan. My ultimate goal is what? Prayojan means what? I want to please Krishna. I want to reach back home, back to Godhead. That is my Prayojan. So, but if I do not know only what my relationship is, मुझे संबंध ज्ञान है ही नहीं, तो मैं कौन सी चीज पे प्रयास करूंगा, मैं क्या endeavor करूंगा मैं? What will I be endeavoring on when I don't even know my connections? Like, so for example, the mother is endeavoring for the child because she knows her connection with Krishna, that he is her own child, that yeah, my relation with this little child is that I'm the mother, so I'm endeavoring. And now what is her goal? Her goal is to see her child happy all the time. So similarly, for a devotee also, his last destination is back home, back to Godhead, and over there going he has to please the Supreme Lord. But now, as I always say, that whether I am in the spiritual world or whether I'm in the material world, I am doing the same activities. There is no difference between the activities what I will be doing in the spiritual world or the activities that I'll be doing over here, right? So over here for me, the activity is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, and over there also Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So my sadhan and sadhya are the same, whether I'm in the material world. So staying in this material world also, I am staying in the spiritual world because I am always thinking about Krishna. I'm always in the mood or service of Krishna where I'm thinking how to please his senses. So in this Baddha avastha or this conditioned state also, I will be liberated in this very material body only. Right? When you actually, the bhakti level reaches to the highest stage. So you become actually a sadhana siddha person. So there are three types of devotees. One is kripa siddha, one is sadhana siddha, and one is nitya siddha. Nitya siddhas are those who are eternally liberated. But the sadhana siddha can also become nitya siddha, and the sadhana siddha can also become a kripa siddha. Kripa means, gaining the mercy of the devotees, and by which you get the mercy of the Lord. So then people know this. Therefore, the association of devotees and the bona fide spiritual master are very important. One should know that the goal is Krishna, and when the goal is assigned, then the path is slowly but progressively transversed, and the ultimate goal is achieved. This is such a nice statement. This is. One should know that the goal is Krishna. मेरा ध्येय क्या है? अगर किसी को पूछते हैं what is your goal? Somebody say I want to go to the moon. Somebody say I want to become a doctor. Somebody say I want to get married. Somebody say I want to become rich. But we should know that our goal is Krishna. Our goal is to please Krishna. Our goal is to serve Krishna and please him. Right? Only by service can you attract. You cannot attract anybody. So even in the material world, you see, okay, if I serve, my relatives or my friend or anybody, if I serve, aren't they so happy with me? Happy with you? They're very definitely happy because बोलते हैं ना कि इंसान अपने काम से पूजा जाता है. जो भी वो काम कर रहा है और वो अच्छी तरह से कर रहा है, if he is doing it with dedication, he is worshipped by his work, right? So that is why when the goal is assigned, then the path is slowly but progressively transferred, and the ultimate goal is it. When the person knows the goal of life but is addicted to the fruits of activities, he is acting in karma yoga. When he knows the goal, okay, मेरा ये goal है कि मुझे भगवद धाम जाना है, कृष्ण की सेवा भी करनी है, to serve the Supreme Lord, but still I'm attached to the fruits, but I'm doing karma yoga. But when he knows the goal is Krishna, but he takes pleasure in mental speculations to understand Krishna, he's acting in Jnana yoga. And then he knows the goal and seeks Krishna completely in Krishna conscious devotional service, then he is acting in Bhakti yoga or Buddhi yoga. which is the complete yoga. This complete yoga is the highest perfection of perfection stage of life. A person may have a bona fide spiritual master and may be attached to the spiritual organization, but if he is still not intelligent enough to make progress, see, I have a guru and I am into ISKCON and still मेरा दुर्भाग्य देखो, मेरी फूटी किस्मत देखो, that still I am not making any progress, then Krishna, what will happen? Krishna from within gives him instructions so that he may ultimately come to him without difficulty. So even if this guy has some drawbacks, Krishna is guiding him from within. The qualification that person always engage himself in Krishna consciousness and with love and devotion render all kinds of services. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. He should perform some sort of work for Krishna and that work should be with love. So any work, whether it is chanting, dancing, cooking, making flower garlands, making jewelry, stitching for the Lord, dressing the deities, washing the temple, washing the pots, book distribution, or preaching, or Harinam, any work you are doing in Krishna consciousness should be done with the ingredient of love should be present. Otherwise, no sense. If a devotee is not intelligent enough to make progress in the path of salvation, but is sincere and devoted to the activities of Vishnu service, the Lord gives him the chance to make progress and ultimately attain him. So, very wonderful this particular shloka is. So, dear devotees, I rest my speech over here because we have another class after this from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock, the reading class. So, anybody has any questions, queries, doubts, solving? Nobody has any questions. Oh, it was so clear. Or it just went above. That is why no questions.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Sejal Mataji.
Mataji, I had a doubt in shlok number 232. Chapter
Yeah.
232 shlok.
Yes,
as you said, okay, we can conquer the soldiers of inimical kings. So what are the kings? How can we conquer other people or other country or other house or a nation?
on the battlefield, when people of different nations come, you can easily conquer them. No, on the battlefield we are talking about.
But here, as it is said, okay, you can also go and conquer that. So how should we, like recently it's happening in Ukraine and Russia. So which country is right and which is wrong? So in that case, what is right duty and wrong duty?
So see, actually, when the Ukraine and Russia war is going on, I really don't have the intricacies of why that war has been, fought. I only know there is some war happening, but I never went into the details of why the
So
war.
even, okay, Mataji. So here also, like he is guiding Pandavas, Arjun, to go and win the kingdom.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
Because
in that case, what is wrong? Whatever is wrong, we can conquer.
yes, yes, yes. So because this whole war is on adharma, no? They have done adharma. Every time they have, given so much of atrocities to the Pandavas. And even when Krishna went as a peacemaker, right? They were not ready to give even 5 villages also. Then Krishna said, okay, now I want, because anyways, if Duryodhan would have been the king of the whole, he would have been the Samrat, he would have been king of the whole world. He would not, his citizens would be anyways unhappy only. And Krishna, as the father of all the living entities, has to think about other living entities also, no? That if a person like Duryodhan, who is so envious and who is very cruel, if he will become the king of the world, what will happen? So this war was fought to establish Yudhishthir Maharaj as the king of the whole world, so that because see, Yudhishthir Maharaj is a very righteous person. Okay. So his kingsmen also will be very happy. Uski praja bhi will be very happy with him. And Krishna wants that Yudhishthir Maharaj be, throned on the the throne as far, and he be the king of the whole world. So now it is Krishna's desire that this battle happen. Initially, it was not even Krishna's desire that this battle happen. Krishna was also against war. But then when so many things piled up, then Krishna said, now war is inevitable. Now we have to fight. But then Arjuna said, I don't want to fight. So then Krishna is telling that, see, the other kingsmen, the other kings who are there of small, kingdom, they will laugh on you. And you have to win over them, because all those other kings were also on the side of adharma. So you have to conquer them also. And indirectly, actually, there is a dual meaning also. That Krishna is telling Arjuna, you fight with your enemies. Krishna is giving us an indirect signal that please fight with your lust, greed, anger, pride, envy. There are so many enemies. You learn to win over these enemies. Because if you keep on running away, you keep on avoiding, then what will happen is that they will become more stronger. Lust will become more stronger. Greed will become more stronger. So what you have to do, you have to fight it out. And you have to shun it down. Sajan Mataji, okay?
Yeah, got it. To conquer our own evils within ourselves.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah. So, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Hare Krishna.